All right. Well, a big part of our hopes and dreams here for Crankworx Connect is to bring the tradition at Crankworx of showing the latest innovations in the mountain bike industry. So we do have one of the most innovative crews in the mountain bike world right now. That's NORCO Bicycles. And we've got David Cox, the engineering manager from NORCO, on site. Welcome, David.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
So, David, pretty interesting stuff you guys are doing. It's this whole kind of new concept in bike building, bike design, bike fit called the ride align design process. Can you walk us through a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, so I guess maybe three or 4 years ago, we started looking at new sites and kind of wanted to just take a bit of a step back and really look at what it would take to make the best all mountain bike. And we kind of started looking at these three factors, I guess, that are really required to make the bikes. And these three things that we're really thinking about, so that's fit, so how the rider fits on the bike, the geometry of the bike itself, and then we're talking suspension bikes here really, so how the suspension of the bike works. And those three things really interact with each other. So we needed to think about these things very holistically. And this is that process, the ride align process.
Do you guys have a name for this bike yet? What are we ready?
I think the working name has been
The hype is real.
It seems to have got a bit of hype since it broke cover this week. So
let's dig into those components a little bit. Starting with rider fit, how are you building that in order to, are you looking to accommodate a wide variety of body shapes and sizes, or are you building it for a long-legged, short torso rider, and if you're not that, then this isn't going to work?
A lot of the data came actually from military applications, so they're trying to fit people into aircrafts or tanks or whatever it is. So they're trying to really understand what the human body looks like and how the variety of people are made up. But all of that data is super applicable to bikes as well. So I guess the first thing with using that data is to look at fit, look at who's out there, their different heights, and also their morphology, their body makeups. And particularly like male-female makeups are quite different generally. And we just want to fit riders well on our bikes.
So you've got your fit, which is going to be kind of critical for a rider to feel comfortable on the bike. But then, of course, the geometry is what's going to give your bike that magic feel, that feeling of being stuck to the ground, and also the ability to go fast. So where are you kind of looking at optimizing the two together?
When we're talking downhill bikes, we're looking for a bike that has the ability for the rider to maintain a centered stance on the bike. So we don't want a rider to have to lean back and push off the back of the bike and defend. We want the rider to be able to maintain a centered stance and really attack the trail, even in the steepest, roughest, nastiest terrain. And this is actually where this whole ride line, like the triangle thing, came from. So the top of the triangle is the center of gravity of the human, and then the two contact points is front and rear contact point on the ground. We sort of work on one frame size to start with, and then looking at how we could scale that across multiple sizes. So because we want the same weight distribution front and rear across all bike sizes, so all riders experience the same feel and the same grip and the same confidence.
All right, so the third pillar of the Ride Align program, of course, is suspension. You guys have a lot of different factors there, especially when you're working with external manufacturers. How does that factor into your design process?
So we developed this software that can take the other inputs, the geo and fit inputs, and also things like components, so things like bar rise and stem lengths. And this allows us to really understand what's happening on the bike rider system. And that's quite interesting when you're thinking about these downhill tracks and how rough they are and how fatiguing they are on the riders. So we want a really stable chassis that allows the riders to be isolated from the terrain so they can hold on and work harder to beat the clock, I guess.
Right, yes. So reduce fatigue, reduce the movement of the rider at the top of the triangle, and then the rest of it will take care of itself, and the speed will come.
Simple as that.
Right. Well, there you go. That's all it takes. Well, thank you so much, David. David Cox from NORCO, running us through the pillars of their design process, the Ride Align process, brand new from NORCO. Huge innovative technology coming out of the NORCO design room. Thanks so much, David, for being a part of Crankworx Connect today.
Thanks very much.